right now, Carson Wentz, what happened this year? Give me your best explanation why in like 30 seconds.
Alex, you go first, then I'll go.
I think Carson Wentz became too self-conscious, and I feel like it had to do a little bit with Doug, definitely. I mean, every quarterback goes through a rough season, but what Carson Wentz went through was different. He lost sight of the field, and he wasn't able to read the field like a quarterback should be able to. You know, you can't blame it on the fact that he had a child, but, you know, you suck, child. No, I'm just kidding. But, no, I feel like Carson Wentz got too self-absorbed. And what happened is, with this self-absorption, Doug Peterson was fueling it, and he lost track of the field, he lost track of sportsmanship, and he lost track of the room. He lost track of the work of the players, of the team. And I feel like that was his downfall. I mean, once he lost track of like passing and how to read the field, I mean, he lost track of the players as well. I mean, when you lose team morale, I mean, you kind of just like when people, even I know he doesn't have social media, but I'm sure he hears all about it.
He does.
I mean,
he has Instagram.
I mean, the fact that like by the time it was week 5, people were already shouting, you know, start Jalen Hurts, start Jalen Hurts. I mean,
like you,
as any player, yes, me, as any player of any sport, having somebody always sitting behind you on a bench, whether it be a rookie or another quarterback, always puts so much pressure on you. And I feel like once he began to play bad football, the pressure got to him and he just couldn't recover. Lorenzo, what do you think?
Yeah, and also I think he was riding high from that 2019 season where he carried the team. He was the team's MVP by far that season. But then he just had this alter ego of just turning the ball over again and again and just again. He just wasn't playing smart football. And I didn't like that. That wasn't Carson Wentz.
He lost his visibility.
So since that wasn't Carson Wentz, do you guys think that the old Carson Wentz will be back next year? And do you think Carson Wentz deserves a second chance?
I feel like we're never. I feel like we're never going to see the old Carson Wentz. I have hope, but I mean, after the way this interview went, and after the way the season went, I feel like Carson Wentz has hit a ditch, and the sides are covered in oil, and it's going to be hard for him to climb out without the right climbing gear.
Interesting.
And right now, instead of him getting an axe or a pickaxe, he's been given a spoon, and there's no way to get out of a slick cylinder with a spoon.
And also, I think after the injuries, it just started going downhill. Like when you suffer 2 injuries back to back, something's gonna happen. That's not an excuse of how he's played now, but he's never going to go back to that. It's a factor.
My really quick insight into this is, A, his coach was god-awful this year. B, his weapons were subpar. C, his defense wasn't great, so they couldn't exactly
No, our defense was okay, actually.
But I'm saying they weren't a great defense to carry the offense. And D, Carson Wentz, just plain and simple, he was getting really nervous in the pocket, right? After the first couple weeks, people were getting on him, and some people, when they are put criticism onto them, they do better and they prove the haters wrong. And some people fold under the criticism and they get too self-conscious. They start to overthink their decision making. They stop to play football and they're starting to play their mind games, right? And what Carson Wentz was doing is he started to play what was in his head and not the game he was playing since he was, 5 years old.
He was playing Madden 19.
Yeah, he's got to go back to when, he was 13 years old, playing on a flag football team somewhere, and just having the time of his life, throwing this pigskin around and playing good football. And I know that sounds kind of dumb and kind of weird, but it's true. You have to love what you're doing. And Carson Wentz, in the years when they did really, really well, you see all the celebrations with the crazy celebrations in the end zones. And, Carson Wentz just having a really good time playing football. And that's when he was at his MVP year. And I think that if he does get some sort of mental help this year, he could have the possibility of being back. I'm not going to bet my money on it, but I wouldn't be entirely surprised, to be honest, because we've seen what he can do in the past.
I think that because